Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Grit here inside Manhattan Beach Studios. I'm Vic and this is Meg, and the duo next to us, well, if you've been following Long Beach volleyball drama, you know their names, Miles Evans and Chase Budinger, who will be representing Team USA at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, fun stuff. Well, let's get gritty with it here. You were 5th on the list heading into the whole battle scene of qualifying for the Olympic Games. People were saying you would never do it, and here you are punching your ticket.
Yeah, I would definitely say we were the underdogs. No one really ever put us in this position that we would even be close to competing to go to the Olympics. But, when we paired up, we knew our goal, our journey, what we wanted to do, and really just put our heads down and not really worry about the, outside influences, and really just get to work on each other and, do our best and work hard and see what we could have done. And look at us now, we're going to Olympics.
And for somebody, I know, it's so exciting. We, like Meg and I, are just beyond stoked, for lack of a better word here. But just talk about, the nitty and gritty of qualifying for the Olympics in the sport of beach volleyball. What does that even look like?
Yeah, I mean, there's a million ups and downs. The whole year and a half long process is the most stressful thing I've been through. Yeah, I mean, we'll be playing well, and then we won't be playing well, and then we got to figure out how to get ourselves to right back to square one, and we've had some moments where we had like our worst finish, and then we bounced back and, watched some film together and work through it to come back. And some of those were like the biggest, highlights of our Olympic journey for me, not letting kind of the downs be so down or for too long and bounce back. But.
Yeah, so from the coach's perspective, you guys have been at it individually for a long time. But starting off, it was 2020, a little bit of a pause, Tokyo moved to 2021. So looking at that 3-year, not quad, and planning, and you just said a year and a half out, when do you really start to lay the bedwork of planning, and what does it look like kind of 2 years out, 3 years out, and what tips would you give to other people that are like, okay, after Paris, we're looking at LA 2028 right here on our home soil. So everyone's going to be putting out their, their road work. Right. What tips would you give them? What have you guys learned?
Yeah, I would say for us, it was a tough challenge because we became a partnership right before the 2-year period. So we were pretty much partnering up heading into the qualification process. And, we sat down and we chatted and we kind of talked about what type of team we wanted to become. And we knew that the team that we wanted to get to, but we knew the process that we needed to really work on to finally get to that team. And, a couple of things that we really needed to, find out was need to find a coach, who's willing to practice with us 5 days a week. We need to have a team behind us who has this whole support system around us to really help us guide us in this direction. And then, one of the things that was the biggest thing was probably learning a system that is going to compete with the best teams in the world. And we really just grinded and worked as hard as we could to really put this system together that would give us the best chances to win matches against the best teams. And, it's definitely paid off.
Yeah, well, it sounds like there's a lot of components that have gone into it. How do you manage what tournaments you're registering for, competing? Like, let's talk about that year ahead, because you guys peaked at the exact right time to just snag that spot. How did that work out? What went into that?
Well, I would say we knew that we wanted to play as many tournaments as possible to give ourselves like the best chance. And I think we made sure that we were on top of our recovery and made sure that we weren't gonna we never know when you're gonna get injured, but that was like, we were really trying to make sure that we were on top of that so that we could play all the tournaments and give ourselves the best chance. So I think we knew deep down, we're like, hey, let's go play the tournaments that they're not willing, like that people aren't willing to play, and let's gain as many points as we can and, give ourselves like a good shot to do this.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the grind is the non-flashy tournaments, right? That people don't register for, or it's not cool to play in them, but you get points, and that's exactly how you're sitting, here at the table at the Paris Olympic Games. So it's weird how people, pick and choose what tournaments that they play in, like, but there is kind of like a coolness factor to some of them, like, oh, it's an Elite 16, or maybe it's an Orsaka that you go and you solidify your spot. And I think that's just kind of wild about our sport. Can we just talk about that? Is that you kind of just pick and choose which ones to play in?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's very tough, right? To choose which tournaments that you want to play in, what Elite 16 tournaments or challenge tournaments, and then you got to try to figure out what other teams are going to those tournaments as well to kind of, see. But kind of like what Miles said, is our thought process of this qualification is play as many tournaments as possible, give ourselves enough chances to do well, and to kind of sweep all the bad finishes aside, knowing that we have so many more to come. And one of the things that I told Miles was the end of last year I thought was really important to us, because we didn't have the best stretch to start the season, to start the qualifying process. We had one really good finish where we finished second, and then the rest of the tournaments, that were probably about 8 of them, we really didn't do well enough, or didn't do well. So we still were pretty far down in the qualifier. Points were still low. And I remember just telling him, was like, hey, the end of the season is going to be our time to like really, get some strong finishes. And we mentally were ready for those, because some of those tournaments were all the way in December. And a lot of teams were kind of checking out, needed that time to rest. But because we had that chat, and because we were kind of like mentally prepared for it, we went into those tournaments, trying to play our best, and we had some really good finishes there that kind of got us back into the race.
Yeah, I felt like that was a big moment in your preseason when everyone else took that pause. You guys were jumping, and we're going and collecting all those miles and everything. Do you guys have any miles partnerships for hotels or like anything, incentives that you cash in on?
I fly United, so I was actually able to use a lot of my miles to upgrade some of my flights, because we did have a lot of long flights. Yeah.
Okay, favorite road trip that you guys have been on in the last year? Favorite event? Maybe, on the court, off the court?
I mean, for me, I won my first tournament in China last year.
How about for you?
I thought our trip from Thailand to Philippines was like a good little stretch. Both amazing places, never been to either of them. We did well in both of them. And yeah, just it was a fun time together of just traveling and spending some good dinners, good restaurants, and things like that. So it was a good bonding experience for those stretches.
Put them on the list.
Yeah, big time. And with the road dog lifestyle, I know that we all have our favorite foods that we lean in towards, but do you ever take or pack anything on the road with you?
I bring a million protein bars. I need to have like protein in me the second I'm done playing or whatnot. So I usually have a lot of food. When I go to China specifically, I bring like dehydrated food, and thankfully the last time we went, it was like they had good food for us, but I'm usually pretty prepared.
Which is nice for me, because I mostly just rely on it.
No oatmeal? I'm a big oatmeal person. Like, if I don't have oatmeal in the morning before I train, like, I will literally pass out. And I've been like that since college. Like, it's the thing. Like, load up the oatmeal with granola and berries, some honey. It's thick. It like holds on to your stomach,
I think I've eaten it so much that I like can't eat it now. Like, I've eaten it for every day for a a long time. So
what's your go-to protein bar?
G2G is a great one, or Cliff Bar.
Okay, I'm a Cliff fan too.
Yeah, Cliff
Gotta love those. So you've made it this far, but not without an amazing team behind the team.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what you need to put together to make those podium decisions and land yourself with an Olympic qualification.
Yeah, I think first and foremost is like finding the right coach. That was one of the things
Who are you
that
working with right now?
Dan Weinerich.
Yeah.
And, I just remember going through the process of trying to find the right coach, and I'm interviewing certain coaches, just trying to find the right one. And I remember sitting down with him, and he was just very enthusiastic and ready to kind of like start this journey with us. And one of the things he said was like, hey, I want to do 5 days a week. I want to, get the reps in, get the, really bring that Brazilian style of coaching to us. And that's what we've done with them, ever since, every single day. And then from there, we have our traveling coach and Edward Keller, who, you know, he's kind of been with me since the beginning of my beach volleyball career. But, you know, Miles has really embraced him to kind of be part of this team, and he has just helped us with some stats and keeping us positive. And
he's got some energy.
Yeah, he's got tons of energy.
He's always positive.
He's
vibes.
a volleyball encyclopedia. So if you need any questions about anything about
Never
beach
gonna be a dull
volleyball,
moment without Ed. And you can find him at 16th Street, usually on the Strand.
Yeah, and he's been just, you know, a good fresher breath air sometimes, because sometimes we could get, you know, too much with just us two. So having that third person with us traveling really helps. And, you know, he's been great and very, like I said, very positive the whole time.
What about family, PT, sports psych, nutrition, all of those kind of things?
I mean, we got all that. Like, that's I think just part of the routine and part of just being a professional, of just knowing that you got to have all that stuff to stay healthy, to keep the mind right, to, you know, make sure you're getting your right lifts in. You know, that all just embodies just being a professional to me.
Yeah. And talking about lifting, what does that look like now that we're about a month or so out from the Olympics? Like, what's the load? What does it look like?
I mean, for me, the load doesn't change. I usually go 4 days a week. I used to go 2 days a week and kind of overload and get super sore in every workout. But now I'm kind of condensing it to a little bit shorter and have like little spurts each day. So it's not so drastic on your body. And I try to keep that up as much as I can. I would say one of the biggest downfalls in the past was I would work out I would skip workouts for like 2 weeks because I'm on the road or whatever the situation is. And now I finally figured out that you have to keep those workouts going or you're just going to lose your muscle mass. And so I've kind of figured finally to not lose weight in the middle of my season and keep that muscle mass. So that's huge.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of seasons, a different season for you and different sport that you originally played. Well, we know, Miles, you have had your feet in the sand in Santa Barbara. We'll get to that in a second, being a beach rat. But you were on the hardwood for quite some time, playing basketball at Arizona and the NBA for quite some time. And why did you make the change to beach volleyball?
To make this change, it was kind of always a plan. I've always had, hey, why not try beach volleyball when I was done with basketball? As long as my body was still healthy enough, I was still athletic enough to make that transition. And, I think I was at a good point in my life where I kind of was, I would say losing the love of basketball, right? Because the year before I played in Europe, I kind of didn't want to keep going to Europe to play basketball. I kind of was wanting to, make roots down in Hermosa and, live there and live in the house that I have and, not just be traveling all the time. So I decided to make that switch and, really just never look back. And, I always say is like, I'm living two different lives, right? Like I had my basketball life where, it went by so fast. It was 7 years in the NBA. I can't believe it was that long because it felt like it was 6 months. And, now I'm shifted into my next part of my life of, being a beach volleyball player. And, I've always said from day one, my main goal was to make the Olympics. And here I am now.
You're doing it. The first NBA athlete to ever make it to the Olympics. That's amazing.
Yeah. I wouldn't say first NBA athlete because it's the first NBA player who's played in the NBA.
Got it.
To play in the Olympics for a different sport or in beach volleyball. That's it. Because there was Mike Dodd and I think Mike Whitmarsh.
Okay.
I think those two players were actually drafted in the NBA.
Got it.
Back in the
good
day,
fact check.
but never played.
Not fake news.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And the Dogs played baseball with my dad in Little League growing up in Manhattan Beach. So, it all comes full circle. But what is so special? I mean, you can go on for days and chime in about this, but what's so unique about the beach volleyball culture?
It's a lifestyle. It's just a lifestyle. Like that's what I fell in love with it when I switched over. It was just like, get a bike to work every day, get to be outside, get to be on the beach. Yeah. Like, you work in the best place on earth. Like you can't beat that lifestyle. You're always happy. Like it's amazing, right? That's my biggest thing is just the lifestyle.
Yeah, and I love the community. Like everyone's so awesome. you know, it's just such a great sport for everyone to come together, high five, just enjoy like being on the beach and having a great time, you know.
I bet there's a lot of fans really happy for you guys to be going to the Olympics for Team USA right now.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw you the other day and I was like, dude, so cool. And you were saying that it was like 400 messages within like, what, 20 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the moment you found out that you're going to the Olympics.
That was stressful.
You were a different character at the moment. Let's talk about just, you know, the excitement and figuring it out and finding it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, when we're sitting there waiting about to play our match, and then I didn't want to have anything to do with watching their match. So Trevor and Theo are playing on the other side and they're watching it. I'm like stressing out, just trying to turn away. And then they're like, we won. I'm like, wait, what? Really? So it was cool to like, you know, have that moment. But I was picturing us playing at the time, like being on the court and then finding out. And I was like, oh, we're going to be in the sand. I'm going to do something cool with the sand. But it was a little different than I
Do some cool sport things in the sand and then
do
get
like
a super
cartwheel,
spec.
backflip thing. Yeah,
Maybe it's a good thing because you didn't injure yourself.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
that could
right.
be very smart.
That's
Health
right.
first.
Because we saw the video, there was like somebody was taking a video of you guys. You were looking at a phone. You were like off doing like some yoga in the background. And
Well, that was the part where he didn't want to watch. So
Yeah.
me and Ed were the ones that were watching the phone, watching the you know the live game going on. So we just were watching it, and I think like it was like 15-12 or something in the third, and you know when that last point went, that's when we just erupted and started cheering, and then he was like, yeah, as well, and kind of we all just came together. So it was a
crazy.
cool little moment, and it's cool that someone captured that for us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Very
special. It's
cool.
like the proposal, you know, you get it.
Yeah.
She said yes. You said yes. They said yes.
Yeah.
I see you're wearing Maui and Sons. Talk to me about this amazing partnership.
Yeah, it's you know, it's someone who has jumped on board and wanted to, you know, take this journey with us without knowing that if we would make it or not to the Olympics. And you know, our friend Richie was the one who kind of got us this relationship, just because he works for him, or his dad worked for him, and he's kind of part of the company. So he was the one who kind of brought it into us, and it's been great because I think they've made some really cool uniforms for us.
I saw
And,
some launch sometimes.
Yeah, we had one launch, but there's 3 others that we have that will be playing in. So I'm excited to really just kind of show off the jerseys of what they've kind of created, and kind of just represent the U.S. with them.
It's
You got anything
super
else?
cool.
Yeah, you know, we didn't want to like wear something we weren't proud to wear. And
Right.
we're definitely proud to wear like the designs that they've come up with. So it's so much more rewarding to wear like that USA jersey,
personal.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it means more for sure.
It's going to be custom, the only exclusive line of that for you guys,
Yeah.
completely made. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Wearing that USA jersey, what do you have to say to the people who thought you couldn't do it?
Here we are now. Like honestly, like I didn't personally think that I was gonna make it, but that's fine. Either did you, and here we are.
And off you go.
Chase was like, actually, I did, so I'll just say that I thought we were going to make it the whole time. Okay?
In fairness to you, about 3 or 4 years ago, we sat down with some perspective of planning
Right,
and,
yeah.
and working on the personal brand. So
Yeah,
it was there.
We had some planning.
Yeah. It's like, let's think about that.
I would say for me though is like, I try not to even hear those like doubters. Like I don't even bring them into my circle, right? Like I've got my circle of people, and those are my supporters, and those are that kind of that trust, and kind of like I always talked about is like our team. Like we have this circle of people, and that's pretty much all that matters. Like everyone else, the doubters, people that didn't care about us or whatnot, like who cares? Who cares about them? You know what? Like what matters is our little circle, our little trust of people, and that's it.
And your people, your wife and your little one,
Of course.
Beckham.
Yes.
Yes.
My biggest supporters. And yeah, like even like in the moment, you know, of us making the Olympics, like she was like the first person I wanted to tell. So we were literally heading to our courts, and I had to like FaceTime her real quick and be like, babe, we did it. But I gotta go play. So it was cool to have that moment with her like right after.
That's super special.
Start booking the tickets.
We already have.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
My whole family, friends, support
I'm waiting
group
for
is
the
everybody.
schedule to come out so I can get the tickets. You're
Friday morning, 8 a.m.
that's right.
That's
You're
when the
our
drawing
pick
comes.
for, the semifinal going for the podium matches.
Awesome.
So we're going to be there cheering you on.
Thank you.
But planning, okay, we have about a month, until competition. What does this next month look for you guys?
Super hard cardio in practice. Try to obsess about volleyball. Try to obsess about film. How you're just going about every day, each week. Planning every practice, planning every workout, your recovery with everyone. Now we have so many people focused on us, and it's super nice because now we can kind of allocate our time a little bit more wisely. So that's kind of the best part of it.
It's nice. It's all there.
Yeah,
It's
we get some help. Sweet. I haven't had help this whole time.
You're like,
This is
great.
great.
Hey, better late than never, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
We also go to Shad for a tournament next.
Right.
We leave next week, so we'll get some more real time practice in of really just trying to focus on some of the things that we want to incorporate in the Olympics. Maybe try to focus on in this first tournament beforehand, and see if it works or not.
Well, the men's game has changed so much, even in the last 3 months. What do you guys see out there? Talking to the younger guys in the country that are playing with the USA national team, they're going to China for the U19 trials and Brazil.
Have fun.
But, what's some of your advice? What are you seeing out there? Different styles of play, techniques. What would you say?
I mean, I would just say that the Swedes, they've changed the game, how they play. They're the best team in the world right now, and they're showing it because they play this very unique style, and they pass super well, they jump set, they hit on two, you really don't know, so it really confuses the defense. But watching them would be the first step, I would say, because I said, they've changed volleyball in the last couple of years. So they're the reason why we're trying to do more with our system, running faster plays, trying to option a lot more, just trying to implement these new things because of them.
What's one piece of your game that you like to keep steady day in and day out, no matter who you're playing? Or maybe it's dialogue.
Day in and day out, I mean, I think just sighting out. The sight out game is so important. Everyone's so good, and everyone could sight out so well. So really just being consistent with it, working on it daily, working on just little tweaking here and there, your little plays, look at the data from past tournament the last year, see if there's anything that you could take away from it, and then just keep improving that. I would say too is probably jump serving has been our second focus of really just trying to get teams out of system, because like I just said, if you're in system, it's really tough to defend against anybody.
And that's why we're seeing a lot more service errors, because people are taking the risk because they're going to win the point anyways if it's
100%.
easy. So
If you serve an easy ball to Sweden, they're going to make you look stupid. I'd rather not look stupid.
Yeah, you'd rather
For the whole
risky base.
game,
It's like a $1 bet, ace or error every time. Just go back and rip it.
Yeah.
We're going to the
I guess we're
indoor.
kind of taking how the men's game, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
the men's
Yeah, big
indoor,
time.
That's kind of what they went to, was like,
Big time.
go for your serve. You miss it, don't worry about it.
Yeah, because we're not going to win that point if it's
Exactly.
easy anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
now
what
on serve receive, it's more of like a defensive move in a sense, because people are ripping it.
Right.
Absolutely ripping it. I know on the indoor side, we're clocking in, my boys at Pepperdine were serving like 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's
It's
insane.
crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, we're not close.
do you?
to
Sam's a
We need
little
to
bit
get a speed
different.
Yeah. I think our highs are like, because we do bring a speed gun to some of our USA
Nice.
practices. I think our highest we get to is like 55.
That's
Which is-
impressive.
I mean,
That's why I say the
And that's
highest.
like cranking it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But still, on the sand, people don't realize, yes, you can watch on TV, but until you're like on the end line, 6 feet away from the guy trying to manipulate angles in real time with a moving object, like you don't realize how crazy the sport is.
Totally.
It's just, and it happens like this. You have to make a decision within
Yeah.
0.01 seconds,
Yeah.
and you're in the air.
Yeah. Yes. And I would go back to your point of one thing I've been trying to tell people is like, this sport is really tough. Like, people don't understand how tough this sport
And
is.
you make it look easy.
Yes, exactly. So when people watch us, and when people watch us at the Olympics, like, people are gonna be like, "Oh, this sport doesn't look that tough,"
I could
because
have got that ball.
because we make it
I have heard that before.
because we make it look so easy. But in reality, like, this sport is so tough. The elements like play such a factor in each and every tournament, and it makes it, like I said, so tough, but also makes it so fun at the same time.
Is beach volleyball harder than professional basketball?
No. they're both tough in their individual sports. Yeah, that's a tough question to really dive all the way into it. But both sports are really tough.
They both have their own battles.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So much fun.
So anything that you've learned from other Olympians preparing for this next stage that you're going to kind of take in and enhance your game and the way you're approaching the next month?
I mean, that's a great question. We actually just met with Carrie, and we were asking her a bunch of questions,
Carrie Walsh, if people didn't know.
Yeah,
Carrie Walsh Jennings.
Jennings, yes, there you go.
The OG. And it was really cool to hear some of her insight, we're just asking her about like how the Olympics work, what it's going to be like to walk up to the court, and she said it's awesome to be nervous, like embrace that and expect it, and don't try to like run away from that, which is really cool because it's easy to run away from and whatnot. So approach it. She gave an analogy about like a lion attacking a gazelle. It's like one person or one of those chooses to be there, and that's kind of like a great takeaway of like, when you're on that court, you could be the gazelle or the lion, you choose to be there or not, So I thought that was really good.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Full body chills over here. I'm like, put me in, coach, I'm ready.
And she came back to win the bronze medal, and that was huge. So some of those, learning points are invaluable.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome.
And for me, I'm just trying to any Olympian that I see, I try to like pick their brain and just really just because it's, something that we've never done before. So like really try to pick their brain of just experience it, or like how do you mentally prepare like every other day, right? Like because it's such a different process, like how do you manage the enjoyment and the experience and then the managing of the like being focused and playing part, and how to like keep those separate, or like being okay with managing both of them at the same time. I don't know. It's a lot of thinking that has to go involved in this. So that's why like getting as much information from ex-Olympians is crucial.
What did Carrie have to say about that? The two different mindsets. Did she say intertwine them?
Yeah, well, she wanted to be left alone and kind of be on an island, and she didn't do much of the outside stuff. She said she would do some family dinners here and there, but her whole mindset was focused on playing and like kind of being in that mind frame of just being there. And like she kind of says at times that she kind of regrets not like enjoying it more, of like maybe going to see other athletes and go and see other sporting events and things like that, because that's kind of why you're there too. You gotta kind of have to do both, because like the Olympics is just a tournament, but it doesn't represent the journey that we took to get there. It was a 2-year climbing a mountain of just scraping and clawing and the ups and downs to finally get to the top of this mountain. And now you're there, you got to kind of enjoy it, right? So that's kind of where we're at.
And you're enjoying the view.
Enjoying the view, yeah.
How about that athlete village? What are you looking forward to the most about being part of the village?
Yeah, I definitely want to meet all the athletes for sure. I want to see,
I think...
especially with Team USA, you're in that.
Yeah, it's going to be cool just to chit chat with all these different athletes and kind of just hear their experiences and their journeys and how they got there, and kind of just see their excitement and stuff. And I'm already seeing it like on TV with the other day with some of these swimmers that have qualified for some of these events, and just you could see how happy they are and stuff. So I really it's really cool to be able to finally see them in person. And
I've been watching the swimming trials. It is crazy what they're doing out there. The times that they're getting, and Ledecky, how cool is it? You guys are going to be floating down the Zen River. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. Boat,
one thing
like
Carrie said that was cool. She was like, "You guys definitely need to do the opening ceremony." And people were like, "Oh, should you do it? You're going to be on your feet all day." And she kind of confirmed. I was like, "I'm doing it no matter what." But it was cool to hear her say like, go do that, Well,
it's the first time it's going to be on a boat through a river, not in a big stadium and going through. So
unfortunately, we're going to be standing for 8 hours, but
But so is everybody else.
Compression.
Everybody else is literally in the same boat. So
we're getting one of those little step seats. You can stand on the stool seats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's not a bad idea.
You're gonna have to think about it.
I'm gonna
Just
be
to
taking
peg
little
legs.
reps.
I'll be on the sidelines waving, going, "Hey guys,
Paris
good luck."
or Meg will be there
Yep.
in Paris.
Yes,
Mhm.
so I'll be there cheering you on.
Yeah.
And I have tickets already to the men's bronze and gold medal matches, so
Let's
I can't
go.
wait to see you guys there. I
Same.
might be in the nosebleeds, but I will see you there.
I shall be waving the flag.
That's awesome.
Last piece of advice that you have for juniors, or maybe somebody that's a professional, not only in beach volleyball, but maybe a different line of work. You know, how do you find your inspiration, and just a piece of advice of the journey to get to the top of the mountain and enjoy the 360 view?
For me, get a coach and a teammate you actually believe in. Like, you know, you might, whatever. Those are the two most important things, you know, in our sport. I didn't realize how important a coach was. You know, I've had coaches here and there, but like having a system with your team is super, super important. So if you can develop that as early as possible, you're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, and I would say just be dedicated to your sport, right? Like if this is something that you're passionate about and this is something that you want to pursue, like dive right in. Like go full into it. Be dedicated in every aspect of that sport. Be a professional, and you know, really have no regrets of doing that too. So, you know, when you do make that plunge, just be ready, because there's going to be a lot of ups and downs during it, but you know, the grind is worth it.
Sounds awesome.
Big
I have
time.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Yeah,
ya.
thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations and
Uh-huh.
good luck on the
Thank
rest of the
you.
journey here.
Thank you.
Sprinting the next month. Take it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're rooting for you.
Yeah.
Big time.
Olympian Miles Evans here.
Yeah, Olympian. I love it.
And this guy Chase.
NBA basketball player, Chase, now an Olympian.
Well, thanks guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow along on their journey. More great gritty news on the next episode next week dropping. Stay tuned.
Make that, make that, this.